Record. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back. I'm back with Hema again, and Happy New Year to everyone. First of all, we're going to continue session number two with Hema Gandhi on life beyond diets. And today's discussion is going to be continuation of where we left off from last time, which was about the connection between stomach and the brain. If you remember, Hema mentioned that you should eat in a very less stress, calm manner, and that plays a great role in the way you digest the food. I didn't understand much, but that's what we're going to explore in the second session with Hema. Hema, how are you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. I'm doing great. Started the new year on a great note.
Awesome. Great. So I think in the interest of time, let me just quickly get started. I think last time you did mention about one tip that you said works for everybody across the world, and that they should eat in a very quiet setting, keep the mind very calm, and that's when it kind of the food gets digested or maybe the nutrients get absorbed. I don't know what that meant, but can you just elaborate on how our state of mind influences digestion?
Yes, so that's where we left last time. That was a tip which I wanted everybody to follow, that we need to eat in a calm state of mind. So, where you are confused is that is the gut and mind connected? Like, how is the mind influencing the gut? Well, let me tell you that it's not just me talking about it, but in fact, all of us are talking about it. Don't we say that we have a strong gut feeling, or we say that we have butterflies in the stomach, and we actually feel the butterflies in the stomach, when we are pulled up to just give a random talk show, or we are invited on the stage to, speak something or to present something. So that's the time when we feel those butterflies. Then again, there are sayings like, I need to digest this defeat, or I have to swallow this disappointment, and things like, I'm scared shitless. So somewhere the emotions and the happenings in the gut is connected. And this again is something not I'm saying or you are saying, it's again coming from the traditional wisdom. It's age, again, as I was mentioning, it's something coming from years ago. Even the father of medicine, Hippocrates, said that all diseases start from the gut. And Ayurveda backs it. And today, modern science also believes it. It is all in sync. So, every inflammation, every disease starting comes from the gut. And that is why I was mentioning that our state of our mind actually affects our digestive fire. So, whatever, we are multitasking these days. And if you are regularly into multitasking, then it is clearly affecting your digestive fire. Like if you are stressed out most of the time, it is dulling the fire, or I can say dimming the fire. If you are angry most of the time, it's killing the fire. The fear kind of dampens it. So the fire is the digestive fire, or the stomach acid, as it is called in modern science, is actually not working to its optimum. So this slow fire, imagine like when you some cooking something on a very very slow fire. It would take a very long time to cook. It might rot, it might ferment, and it might not be even properly cooked. When it moves, like when we take it off after long hours, also, it's not properly cooked. Similarly, that slow fire is not able to digest the food that we're eating. And then the food is not going to stay forever in the stomach, it has to move on. So when it moves into the next part of the gut, that's the intestines, the undigested food is coming there, especially the protein which was supposed to be digested in the stomach, that's moving on there. And that is creating all the fungus, because the intestine doesn't know what to do with the undigested food. So that is what they call as toxins, or ama as in Ayurveda. And that is actually the initiative of any inflammation that's happening in the body. So the inflammation may be anywhere in the body, but it started because of the toxins developing there. And again,
And
yeah, tell me,
and it starts in the stomach, you're saying.
starts in the gut. And So this is again like it's not just the mind affecting the gut, it's the gut also which is affecting the mind. So just now the examples which I gave you, like butterflies in the stomach and all, that's the thoughts happening in the mind which are giving an after effect in the gut. But tell me, how do you feel when you have pooped in the morning, when you have evacuated completely in the morning? How do you feel?
I feel terrific, in fact. I feel very happy
Exactly.
and relieved.
Yes. Yes. So we feel happy, we feel light, we look forward to the day, we, find everything interesting and nice around us. But if we are constipated, if we are bloated, or we have acidity or gastric issues, you will not like anything around you, nothing. You won't even look forward to the day, your sleep would not be good, you would be dull, and what if you've overeaten? You would again be dull,
Mm,
drowsy, having energy slumps, maybe feeling sleepy through the day. And what if you've not eaten for long hours? You are hungry and you are angry. So you're a mix of it and you become hangry. So, where are these getting connected? Somewhere the gut also gives its signals, its feelings to the mind. Nothing goes, both of them are communicating very strongly. In fact, the entire body is communicating. We can't disintegrate the systems, we can't talk about the system separately. All the systems work together smoothly, only then an organism is functioning properly. And this gut is one of the most strongly connected system to the mind because it is the largest sensory organ. It has the maximum number of neurons. And so the communication is very, very strong over here. That
okay.
is how these two are connected.
So before I go a little deeper into the subject, can you explain to me and to the audience what do you mean by a gut? I mean, I know stomach. There's an esophagus, and then maybe there is the stomach, and then large and small intestines. That's pretty much I've read in the biology. What do you mean by gut?
Well, the gut is the entire digestive system. It is starting from the mouth and ending at the anus.
Okay,
So, a lot of people say that it's just the intestines or just the stomach, but no, it's the entire system. So, from where we eat to the esophagus, moving down to the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, then from where we excrete, that's the anus. So, this entire thing makes up the digestive system, and this entire thing has loads of bacteria, which is known as the gut microbiome, which is trillions of bacteria inside, residing in that. Maximum in the intestines, the small and the large, but it's there all over. So, all of this, the gut microbiome and this entire system is making up the gut. That is what the gut is. And so, that is why they say, just it's important to what we are eating, what is the food that we take in. But it is equally important to what we are excreting, because
okay,
that will somewhere indicate your gut health, the entire system, how it's working from where we started to where we end. That's the gut.
got it, got it. Uh, if I have to go back to the start of the conversation, you said about the digestive fire and the acidic system. So what I understood is that the food still gets digested, but at a
Yes.
much slower rate. So what I'm asking is, yes, a lot of people in today's world are actually quite stressed. And the way you explained it to me, I took it in two different ways. One is the food gets digested slowly, and some parts of the food doesn't get digested, which means your nutrient absorption is also low. Is that a right assumption?
Yes. If it is not digested well, the intestines cannot take out the nutrients and send it to the body. It will pass out undigested. It will ferment in the large intestine and finally, it will pass out. And that is where we have issues of burping, gastric issues, flatulence, and so much more coming
Okay.
in because that food is just lying there undigested. And so, however hard the large intestine, the bacteria over there are working on it to absorb whatever they can take from it. Food lies in that from 24 to anywhere between 24 to 48 hours so that the bacteria over there can work on it and take things from it. All the vitamins, all the electrolytes, all the water, it is literally taken back so that we don't lose on any nutrient. But when it is in undigested state, however hard it works, it will not be able to take out those. And so that food keeps getting fermented there and rotten. And that's when we have the flatulence issues, the bad farts, and the gastric issues. That is how it is. So it's not
Mm,
about taking a lot of protein, whether you're digesting the protein or not, that works. So everybody is looking around that I got an advice of eating more protein. Where will I get the protein? But first make sure that your gut is able to digest the protein. That's more important.
got it. And that's a very interesting thing, right? And another thing that I was very curious about, Hema, is this sudden talk about gut, the gut-brain connection, etc., has been exploding maybe in the last, I don't know, 2 to 3 years from what I have seen. Why do
Yeah.
you think, is there a sudden awareness around this, or is it become a fad that people want to talk about much more?
Well, as I said, this is not something new. It is backed by Ayurveda also. It's just that, modern science keeps researching and they keep coming up with new researches. And then that's when they discovered that this is also there. The gut microbiome is there. We all know about the gut mind connection. So, as I said, there is a connection. The connection is via the vagus nerve, one of the strongest nerve running down, which is connecting the gut and the mind. So, this connection was always known. And then what is seen is that, when there are issues of, let's say, IBS or ulcerative colitis, or there are issues of constipation, uh, then they see that the person is slowly also moving towards depression, anxiety, panic attacks. So then slowly people started working around it and wondering that doctors started wondering that why is this? So they did give antidepressants, but that was not the solution. I mean, you go ahead and have your antidepressant, but you had to work on the gut health to improve that. Why? Because it is the intestines which are producing the hormones. This is the
Okay.
central nervous system, the brain. And the gut is known as the second brain. It's the enteric nervous system. And actually, I would say, believe you me, that this enteric nervous system is stronger than the central nervous system. It
Okay.
makes this nervous system dance on its tune. That is the DJ, the enteric nervous system.
So,
So all the
okay.
bacteria in there are making the brain here dance. So when they are not working properly, when there's a dysfunction, there are hormones being secreted, being synthesized in the gut. So when do you feel happy? When you have the serotonin being secreted. When do you feel motivated? When you have the dopamine coming in. When do you feel ready to face all kind of situations, respond to them? When you have the endorphins in place. And these are all synthesized in the gut. But when this is not
Oh,
happening, then your mind is not getting that dosage of the hormones and it is not feeling happy, whatever is happening around you. And even those compliances, remember we were speaking about, I told you that so many resolutions happening, and then you said, yeah, gym also sees an explosion. So the compliance doesn't come, the motivation doesn't come because there's something wrong with the gut. So till you don't address that, it'll be just sheer willpower that you're pushing yourself that I need to go and I need to do it. It'll be like in punishment. But the compliance and the happiness sets in when actually your gut is sending those kind of signals and your mind is listening to that and doing it. That's how it
s-
is working.
got it. So you're saying the satisfaction and even the motivation to do something on a regular basis comes from the stomach and
Yes.
its health in the first place.
Yes.
Okay, that's quite interesting. So let's say if you have to tell people, let's say I want to understand if my gut is functioning to maybe out of 100, what the number could be, 80 or 70 or 50. How can people sitting at their homes have a, let's say, reasonable idea if their gut is in fact in a good state or not?
Yes. Of course. And I would also like to say one more thing over here is that, I have seen personally that when we work on somebody's gut health and the gut health improves, I have seen improvement in their performance, whatever, be it, whether it's like, just working in the office, be it in a sports, be it in any region, their performance improves. your sickness reduces. You're not falling sick again and again, because there is the our 70% of our immune system is again in the gut. So when the gut is healthy, the immune system is strong. Even if you fall sick, with the occasional flu and viral, you tend to recover back faster. This is something which
Okay.
I have personally noticed with all my clients, that this is how, when the gut resets or gut gets stronger and is healthier, then this is the change that is seen. Any kind of inflammation, be it the dandruff in the on the scalp, or be it rashes on the skin, all of this starts reducing and literally goes away when we start working on the gut health. That is how it
Awesome.
is.
It's
Yeah,
kind of very enlightening to see that gut is almost like maybe the second brain, as you said, enteric or whatever that
enteric
meant.
nervous
So there's a very strong connection of how we work and then how we operate as a human being based on how our health of the gut is on a daily basis, right? And so I think maybe you can just answer this question of how do I assess if my gut health or anybody can
system.
get a fair idea of their gut health?
Absolutely. Sitting at home, we can do it without free of cost. And why we don't even think about it. We are all worried about a heart attack, because, of course, we know that a heart attack can kill us. But what about the gut attacks happening every day? Nobody's bothered, because it'll not kill us. So we don't take it so seriously. But the gut is actually giving us signals every single day, with every burp, every fart, every
Oh,
feeling that we get of being stuffed and all. Those are signals, one thing. And we take them as, the gut feeling has actually changed to a guilt feeling. People start feeling guilty now, why? Because we're not sure when we're going to excrete, where, in what situation. So that becomes our guilt feeling. But it's just trying to tell us that it is in stress, or it is uncomfortable, and there's something going wrong inside. So that is one thing. That's why I say, eat when you're eating, be focused. When you're focused, you will not be overeating or undereating, and you will not even have to run to dietitians or people like me, that how much should I eat and all that. You would know it yourself.
hmm.
So, and again, assess it, as I said earlier, that how are we excreting? That is so, so, so important. That it is the large intestine which is making the excreta. So it is eventually that how do we excrete? Because if the food that we are eating is not giving us good bacteria. We spoke about the gut microbiome, right? So, this microbiome, as I said, is a combination of loads and loads of bacteria and trillions. So, this is, again, good and bad, and we need to have a balance, like a symbiosis, so that good bacteria is also surviving and giving us the good feelings. But if our habits are such that we are just increasing the bad bacteria, then this is a dysbiosis, and that is going to overtake your mind and then set in the cravings also. We're so worried, like, I have cravings for sweets, I have cravings for what, tea, coffee, maybe smoking. All of this comes from the bad bacteria. So,
Okay.
what is the kind of bacteria that would affect the excreta that we are producing? And that's how we can assess. The simplest way is, there's a Bristol stool chart, which you can just Google and you'll get a picture of it. If you Google it right now, you can see it
Is it
there.
Bristol as in UK Bristol city or something? Okay.
BRIST. Yes, it is
Okay.
Bristol. So that's what all the gastroenterologists also use. In fact, that's their first step to, assess a gut health. So all you need to do is download that chart. I mean, look at the picture and get that picture. And you will see that there are 7 different kinds of stools shown over there in that picture, right? So the first one is like tiny pebbles, hard pebbles. Like if you see a goat shit, looks kind of that, which
Hmm.
clearly indicates that you are highly constipated, dehydrated, and that is why your poop looks like that. So that
Okay.
is an alarming sign again, that this is not the kind of poop a human being should be having, because this shows clearly that it is, there's no fiber, there's no water, it's a absolutely dehydrated condition, and it's very hard to pass that kind of poop also, and you have pain and you have fissures and problems of those kind. The
Um,
second one again, oh, you're sharing it,
yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's better for people to relate to, right? Yeah. So you're talking about the first one, goat stuff.
Yeah, yes, this one.
Okay.
So
Mm.
again, the second one you see is a little better than that one. It's more accumulated, but it's still like, hard and it's difficult to pass this one. So that
Mm.
means you are, lacking good fats, and you're not well hydrated. It clearly shows that the kind of food that you're having is not making your gut happy, rather. Now, the third type, if you see, is like a sausage, or it is like a complete shaped lump like kind of a thing. It has slight cracks on the surface outside, but it is smooth and easy to pass, and it retains a shape. It always retains a shape,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And moving from there to the fourth one is absolutely smooth. It is shaped like a carrot or a radish, no cracks, nothing, easy to pass out. There would be like, no pain, no pressure, nothing to pass this
Mm.
one out. So
Okay.
these are actually the markers of your gut being happy. They are the best kind of poops that you have.
The
So
type three
if
and
you
four.
poop like this, yeah, three and four. So if
Okay.
people who have hopes of this kind can be happy that they are eating right, things are working good in their gut, and they're digesting and excreting well. Moving on to five is again, it is soft, but it has lost the shape. So it does have an outline. It is not like completely deformed, but it is again in small pieces, not shaped into one, a regular kind of a shape, not a lump, but in small pieces. This is soft again, not difficult to pass, but it is,
No
kind of
form.
sluggish. Yeah, no form. And the sixth one, it gets more deformed, and it's just like, small, soft pieces plopping out and literally not taking any shape, just falling there, and D-shaped kind of a lump stays there.
Mm.
And the last one is something which we get when we have something like a stomach infection or a diarrhea, where you just can't hold on to that and it comes out like water. It's like with a pop sound, it's just literally water being discharged with some excreta. That is completely showing that your stomach has got some kind of infection and you are in trouble. So this is how, you can assess your gut health. And what
Okay.
else can you assess over here is something very, very interesting, which I always tell my clients. In fact, just 2 days ago, somebody messaged me saying this. I always tell them that, see, when you start working with a nutritionist or a dietitian, you start working on any diet that you've looked up in Google, or, you found somewhere, you heard it from somebody. You start working on a diet, on a lifestyle, you need to check whether your poop is moving towards 3 and 4, or
Mm.
is it moving away from 3 and 4? Is it going to 1 and 2 or coming to 5, 6, 7? That means this doesn't suit you at all, whatever you're doing. But if it is coming towards 3 and 4, then you're on the right track. So 2 days
Okay.
ago, she messaged me that since meeting you since the last week, my poops have become much better. So that clearly indicates that she's on the right track. So it's a very,
Awesome.
very easy way to assess that
I-
whether
I-
we're doing eating right and doing it right.
Yeah, so this is very interesting, right? I don't think people look at their own poops in the first place, which means most people may not even, I think maybe they're shy, ashamed of it. I understand. Uh, but I think you're essentially saying people should be looking at their poop every day to see if their gut is in the good order and they have more good bacteria in the
Yes.
stomach, right?
In fact, again in Ayurveda, there's a saying, Prabhate Mala Darshanam. That
Mm-hmm.
means you need to look at your poop in the morning and feel happy and satisfied that it is the way it should be.
Okay. I have one follow-up question on maybe two. There are times in which even I've experienced. There are days in which I have type three and four, and maybe there are days in which it could be five, for example, right? Uh, and I've seen this kind of. It's not very consistent that it's always type three and four. And I'm sure many other people might probably have similar experiences. Why does that happen? Is there a some? I mean, should everyone have necessarily type three and four all days of the month or all days of the week?
See, yes, that is a clear indication that you have very good gut health. if we have type 3 and type 4. But if you're moving anywhere away, like maybe if you're moving to type 5, that shows that something that you had eaten in the last couple of days which did not disagree with your system. And these are the things which we shouldn't be often eating. These are
Okay.
things which we should be reducing. So see what a great
Okay.
assessment you can get. I
Got
mean,
it.
from where you need to eat and how you need to carry it, everything is coming from here.
Okay. So if I have to maybe ask in the some other way, right? If someone even has more percentage of type 3 and 4, it means that the gut is functioning fine, just that they didn't eat some good food for that day, and they can always go back to 3 and 4. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. They can always go back to 3 and 4, and there are some tiny steps again which we can, be doing regularly at home, which would keep us at 3 and 4, even when at see everybody has to go eat outside. Everybody cannot get really good food, though we do choose wisely, but sometimes things go bad. And sometimes we also have stomach infections. You
Correct.
cannot control them, even if you are eating really nice and even in fact, recently, like when I was traveling to Delhi, I had a very bad stomach infection. So you don't know where it strikes you. But the point is to quickly come back to 3 and 4. So that is the home remedies and the simple things that we do help us to get that back. That is important. Again, if the 1 and 2, if you tend to, like, you have 3 and 4, let's say every day, but let's say you went back to 2 for some
Mm.
reason, really shows that you haven't had your proper water intake for that day, or your fruits, your fibers were missing. So you need to make sure that the next day you are taking in good amount of water. That is how it is indicating. Every single day we can assess our health based on this.
Okay. And what are the ways in which I can increase this good bacteria in my stomach so that my poop is oriented more towards this 3 and
Right.
4?
Well, that's something a little, we need a little long time for that. But here I will again just give you one short thing. I would, again, we can say that it's a tip for today, let's say. So
Okay.
it's like, as I spoke about the microbiome, where does this come from? It's there when we are born. We are born with this bacteria. Okay. So this is something which is coming from our ancestors. It's not that we are producing it. It came to us. We're going to propagate it. We're going to grow it further, flourish it, and make sure that we maintain it. But why don't we maintain it? Why does
Mm.
it diminish? That's what I'll tell you so that you can keep that as a tip. It diminishes when we don't give it the kind of food that it is used to. When we move to alien things, when we swap our food which our
Mhm.
ancestors were eating, we were supposed to eat, which is in our culture, which is in our cuisine, when we swap that, like let's say we used to eating sabjis. We as Punjabis, we used to eating sags. Even you all eat a lot of green leafy vegetables cooked in different
Yeah.
forms. If we swap them with salads, with smoothies, with soups, that's something they will not like. We are used to
Okay.
eating rice and wheat. We swap it for quinoa, which they've never had it. So that is not where they're going to survive. What I can give you an example is what comes to my mind is like the lion will never eat the grass. So this bacteria is not going to give up its food. It will not eat what you are giving it. It will only want that food. If we don't give our regular food, the food which our ancestors have been eating, the fats, the dals, rice, whatever, then it is going to diminish in number and maybe not even survive in our gut. So, to maintain this good bacteria, the first thing that we need to do is, as we spoke last time also, we need to eat local, we need to
Local.
eat what
Yeah.
is seasonal, and what is cooked the way it's supposed to be cooked in our kitchen. That's the
I
best way to use bacteria.
Very interesting, very interesting. I think I don't know if I'm asking it right. I think I'll just stop with this and we can continue in the next session. So there are a lot of these foreign fruits and vegetables that people take to these days. I keep reading that. I don't know, maybe fruits like or vegetable avocado and maybe kiwi
Yes,
related stuff. So, yeah, so a lot of those things. I don't know. I mean, are you talking about these things that we may not be oriented towards those kind of items
absolutely.
necessarily?
We are not. We are not. We are not even decreasing our bacteria by eating all that. We are increasing carbon footprint by, getting them from far away, all those miles that they travel to come to us. And we are literally killing our economy. We are not even looking into our local produce. We feel ashamed if we say that, oh, I'm eating a jamun. We want to say that I'm eating the goji berries or I don't know which berries and acai berries and all those. We feel proud saying that. But that's something not what our gut needs, something not which anybody needs in our place. We need the local berries, we need the local fruit, which is just within maybe 100 kilometers of your vicinity. So that's the food which would be happily digested, which your bacteria would also recognize because it is the one which is thriving in that area. So we need to
Uh,
understand it's like everything boils down to this that we need to eat the local seasonal food.
it just
We
looks basic, right? I mean, we don't have to think much there.
taste it.
That's yeah. Okay, that I think it's very fantastic session, Hema. I think my our viewers would have really enjoyed a very thrilling session or enlightening session on the gut-brain connection, the good bacteria, bad bacteria. I know they would have heard Dr. Pal talk about it quite a lot, so it became quite popular. I think in the next session, Hema, I think we would go into more like what you're doing of how lifestyle diseases are getting started or getting more prevalent, and what are the ways in which people can reverse. Maybe we can do something around diabetes in the next session, and that's something our audience would probably love. Guys, we'll see you maybe in the next couple of weeks with Hema
Let
again.
us know
Thanks
in the
for tuning
comments.
in.
If they want to hear something, they can let us know in the comments. If there's something specific they want us to talk about, we could be doing that
Awesome.
also. Yeah.
Awesome. I guess, as she said, feel free to drop in your views, suggestions, and comments or any questions, and we'll take it up in the next podcast. Thank you so much. You guys have a great day and take care of the good bacteria. Okay, and watch your poop next morning. Bye.
Bye bye.
See you.